Right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the TD Markets Podcast episode number
Five.
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 Season two.
Season 2, episode 5.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Happy to be back.
Yeah. It's been a pretty chill week for the most
Chill
part.
week.
Market hasn't been moving much. Like, to be honest, like with gold, it's been stagnating for the whole week.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think everything is in a retracing mode now.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think like that CPI data that's due for next week is vital. We'll sort of discuss it a bit in a bit, but exciting news. We had a guest on the podcast today,
Yes.
or pre-recorded just for the podcast.
Yeah, we had a very good guest, we did a pre-recording.
Yeah, pre-recording.
We're going to play it after our live. Or it is the live, but within.
During the live. But you guys can have a little bit of a insight into the bit of a, I would say, chat that we had with Lennox.
Yeah.
Bit of a different perspective to everything. Started chatting a bit about what's happening on gold, Euro USD.
The dollar went to crypto.
Yeah, a bit of crypto. So touch base on a bit of things that like he likes looking at. You guys are also more than welcome. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Go follow him on Twitter as well. Like all of that details is on the podcast itself and the pre-recording that we did. So we definitely encourage everyone to kind of have a look at everything that he's doing as well.
Yeah, it's good to sort of get someone with a different opinion.
Definitely a different opinion.
Yeah.
And like we discussed during the podcast, during that recording as well, like there's so many different ways to see stuff, and it's good to have people in with a bit of different opinions so that everyone can get a different perspective of everything and views of everything, especially because face it, like not everyone's view on the market is always the same.
Not everyone's always the same, and that's a great point to touch on because a lot of beginners think that there's always one view in the market. I mean, the guys will watch the pre-recording, but we spoke about that we can have two different directions but still make profits.
Yeah.
You make profit, make a profit, right? So whatever direction you pick, it depends on the entries and the exits. All right. Xander can say gold is going up. I can say gold is going down, and we can make profits depending on the entries and the exit points. Right? It's not always that you have to go with someone's opinion. Not all the time. All right. You might find that they're not going the market's not going into in that direction. But yeah, it was just a fruitful conversation we had. We're gonna have a lot of more guests in our podcast now. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, same here.
Looking forward. Yeah.
We're a bit sad today. Julian's not with us. He has some stuff to deal with today, so you're unfortunately stuck with the originals. We'll stick to that.
Yeah, but this way it started.
This is where it started. Xander and Sip were sitting in a room that wasn't looking this nice.
But progress and improvement.
Like I hope everyone enjoyed like a bit of progress that we've made. It's been substantial, I would say, the least from where we came from to where we are now.
Yeah, I fully agree. All right, so let's touch on what's happened. You said nothing has been happening this week.
Oh, we had AUD interest rates come out, right?
Yes, on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right. There wasn't much movement on it. At least I didn't see much movement.
I was looking at it, and I was looking because it came out early in the morning. So I was looking at the AUD USD in the morning, and it did like a bit of a. It looked like it was holding support and pushed up a bit, but didn't really crack anywhere from there. I didn't look at any other AUD pairs, just the AUD USD. And then after that, I sort of just put it on the back burner because I was waiting for it to break a bit higher. I was just keeping below that daily high.
Yeah, the AUD pair I was looking at it was Euro AUD, I think AUD CAD, and what else? GBP AUD, right? Not necessarily AUD USD. Didn't see much movements. Didn't see reaction to the interest rates. Basically, what I saw was structure. So I was trading it based off natural structure. But yeah, so I think they were sitting on was it 3.1. Yeah, I think it was low figures the last time I checked.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so we are going to check where the AUD interest rate is sitting at the moment. But they were talking about the hike.
They did increase the interest rates with 50 basis points.
50 basis points.
I do think it was 50. Possibly 25, but I'm leaning towards like 50.
Yeah, I think it was between 25 and 50. Right, they weren't so aggressive to go up to 75.
No, it is, and just give me a second.
Yeah, so we're just gonna check it out now.
So, but like I said, not a ton of movement, and like we were saying in the, I think a lot of the, like I'm still very much waiting for what's going to happen with CPI next week.
Yeah, that's
I think CPI next week is going to be like a big decision.
Yeah.
We're either going to get more dollar strength or dollar weakness off of that CPI, and I think that's going to be a sustainable movement until the next interest rate decision. So
Yeah. Just for
so it was 25 basis points, down 3.35.
So they're from 3.1.
3.1, yeah.
3.1 to 3.35. Yeah, that's where the AUD interest rates are sitting at the moment. Not a lot of much movements we saw coming to the market, but as you said, CPI, that's where the attention is gonna be shifted to now.
I'm gonna stick to my remarks last week. CPI either is gonna break hearts or make it fall in love.
And it's the month of.
Yeah, it's on Valentine's Day. That's fine.
Yeah, it's on a what is it? It's a Wednesday.
Oh, that's for the 14th, yeah. Yeah. So let's see what's gonna happen there. Like I feel like we might be in, and we're still sitting in this sort of scenario where every time like lower CPI comes out, we see a lot more dollar weakness come into the markets. So we're gonna get to that point sometime or another when as soon as we get lower figure, we're gonna get strength in the market as well.
And of late, dollar's been strong, right? For the past 3 days now.
Well, since NFP.
Since NFP, yeah, absolutely. Since NFP, dollar's been
So
strong.
it's about a week now.
So you say lower figures in CPI will see dollar strengthen even more.
Well, we still see CPI happening is like as we see that lower number come in, we see more dollar weakness come into the market. So we should see more rallying, like the dollar weaken, gold move up, Euro USD move up. The whole reasoning behind that is like markets is pricing in that rate cuts a lot more. So as soon as a rate cut comes in, like they're pricing in that cut, so like it should start looking up. That's basically how it's sitting at the moment. So, but there's going to come a situation where it's going to cause more strength than weakness. I don't know when that time's going to be because it's sooner or later it's going to start happening. But once that first one happens, that's when we need to start paying attention to it because that's going to be the continuation of that trend.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, and I fully agree with what you're saying right now. When the time comes, that's when you're going to get that longer term move, possibly a longer term move, you know. So predicting around that time, inflation would have dropped, right, substantially, maybe. Interest rates, they would still be maybe slowly moving up or maybe a pause at some point, but inflation could be down.
Yeah, so we spoke about this. We touched on it last week, and we touched on it a bit with the recording with Lennox. We're going to very soon in the next week, in the next couple of months, we're going to see inflation actually be lower than the interest rate. And that's going to cause problems for the US. And we're also going to see the GDP also closer to the inflation rate. So ideally what you want is GDP to be higher than your inflation rate. That's why that 2% level is there, because you need to grow more than what you're inflating all products by. And at the moment it's still not happening. But there's going to come a point where it's going to happen. So it's going to be sooner rather than later, I suspect. And once that starts happening, I think we're going to see severe cuts. So they can't really sit on the back burner and say, okay, well, we'll wait for that to happen before we start cutting. I think they're going to start cutting sooner rather than later. Maybe not the next meeting or the meeting after, but I think June, July would definitely be the time to start cutting. Yeah,
at least the two coming meetings, we're not expecting that as yet, right? We might expect a pause in the next two meetings or maybe the other meeting. But as you say, around June, that's when maybe they will look into cutting. And that's where we are going to get like good movements, you know, on the dollar. And that's where now we need to pay attention to. All right. Yeah.
So in the inflation at the moment is sitting at about 6.2.
6.2, yeah.
6.2, right? CPI at the moment, last month it came out at minus 0.1. Yeah. The current forecast is sitting at about 0.5.
So from negative, or still negative 0.5?
No, 0.5.
0.5.
So the forecast is 0.5.
Mm.
And that's for this month. And if we take Feb into account, Feb's actuals came out about 0.6%. So even if it's 0.5, we should see inflation drop down to like 6.2, 6.1 odd percent.
From 6.3.
From 6.2 to 6.1, 6%, thereabouts.
Yeah.
If we do get a 0.5 come out. The big thing is if we can drop lower than that, we're going to break under that 6% mark. So if we get anything under 0.5, that's what I'm saying. If we get a anything under 0.3, it's going to be very, very good for that inflation figure. Because if we look at, so February last year we set at 0.6%, March it was 0.8, April 1.2. So there's almost 2% coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
So if we can stick to under 0.3%, I think we're in such a good position to get that inflation number under 3% by the time we get to June, July. Because if you look at June, it's 1%, July 1.3%. Those are massive, massive numbers for monthly inflation.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So those figures very important. So we are likely gonna see like huge movements in the market.
Definitely. Like I'm definitely gonna see, and it's gonna come down to at the moment is how we're gonna see this whole thing play out. Is when are they gonna cut? Because I very much still think this is the year of them cutting. This is the year where Fed, or I don't want to say Feds, but central banks really look at cutting. Where last year we were looking at, more looking at interest rates, the rate hikes. And the year before we were looking at CPI. This year I feel like this is the year of cutting. This is the big thing that people need to pay attention to. That country that's going to cut first, and this is what I'm interested to see, is that going to be signs for strength or weakness?
Yeah, because
technically that's supposed to be weakness, but it's not necessarily how the market always takes it. So
yeah, but I think also because there are other factors also that are there, you know, the targets, the mandate Fed is looking at. So there might be a whole lot of things that we need to consider for us to get like a proper conclusion to what we're gonna get from the interest rates. It's a little bit tricky, but yeah, we all basically look at it and keep an eye on it. Yeah. So a year of cutting, we're expecting that. Maybe the second part of the year, that's when you're gonna see a lot of cutting now.
Yeah, 100%. 100% think like the second part of the year after the first quarter, the second quarter, we're gonna see more rate cuts coming to the markets, and I'm very interested to see what it's gonna cause. Because it's going to cause havoc. Because I want to see how they've been increasing interest rates so quickly. I want to see how quickly they cut it as well.
It's going to cause havoc. The job data is looking good. Beat expectation. We're waiting for the CPI. So I think now in the coming months, if the job data stays as is, you know, beat expectation, the focus will be on the inflation and interest rate. I think that will be driving the market more than the job data.
Yeah.
All right. And that will be interesting to see. But yeah, focus interest rate. The next FOMC is the first week of March, I think.
I'll take your word for
it. First week of March. Yeah, but we'll just verify that. Yeah, next week CPI, first week of March. Oh wait, first week of March.
Wait, I'll check quickly. No, it can't be first week of March.
It can't be. Yeah, it can't be.
We had it.
Yeah.
We had it like the other day. But let me filter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're still sitting in a position where it's going to be very, very interesting. CPI next week, vital. Really good vital data coming out. And then we'll see from there, you know.
All right. Yeah. So since there was nothing happening this week so far, a lot of technicals were there, but the markets was just fairly slow. Was there one chart that just moved for you this week so far?
No. the thing that's sort of catching my eye at the moment is natural gas. It's sitting on a good level at the moment. It looked like it was pushing up and then started retracing a bit. I still think natural gas is going to come down a bit still. Is going to come down a bit still to about $2.50 before we see that proper support level hold, and then see from there. But I'm still watching natural gas closely. Watching gold closely to see what's going to happen now at these levels as well.
Yep. Gold is just interesting. What's happening? If you can read gold, you see that gold is very interesting right now. And I said on the past episode that that's my focus. We'll see up to when, but so far it's still my focus. Still expecting that move to the upside to come.
Still expecting Bitcoin to crash. Catch and burn. So the next FOMC meeting is the 22nd of March.
22nd of March. So you're gonna have NFT CPI then. I think for the month of March.
Yeah. So CPI is due 14th of March.
So it's gonna be NFT CPI and FOMC. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So this week nothing has happened. We saw a lot of pairs moving slow, but
there is one thing to sort of say. Like, I don't know if anyone knows anything about AI. And I don't know if you saw this. Google had their little demonstration of their AI. It's called Bart, almost like Bart from The Simpsons. And they did and it's weird, right? So they did like an ad for it, and in the ad where they tested it, like one of the statements was actually wrong. Yeah, so they're catching like a lot of criticism for that. And I think I haven't checked the Microsoft chart yet, but I would be interested to see what Microsoft's doing with their. I think it's a Chat GPT.
GPT.
Yeah.
Did you say
it's their open AI platform that they're using for actually search now. I don't know if they've incorporated it yet, but I think with the sort of a failure of Google or false testing, I can't believe that they actually put something in there if it's wrong. Like someone didn't do their work. Anyways, but it will be interesting to see what Microsoft chart's doing, seeing as the chat. I think it's Chat GPT. Something like that.
GPT.
Because that is their platform, and they actually incorporate it into their search engine as well. GPT. Yeah, I was right. Chat GPT. They're incorporating into their search engine as well. It's sort of run by OpenAI. It's a startup in Silicon Valley that Microsoft bought. But they're incorporating into all their search engines at the moment. So
there's a lot of AIs at the moment. There was one I was chatting to with one of our colleagues where it's voices, it's an AI but for different voices. Where you can say something in Joe Biden.
Like I was watching something as well where it's this deepfakes. The deepfakes where they like falsify people's stuff, and
I think
it's horrible.
I think that's not safe.
It's not.
And now there was a story but it was I think 2 weeks ago that Kanye West allegedly said he's gonna move to South Africa, only to find that someone used that AI to pretend exactly why. So
because with all of these Yeezy money, like you can be like a billionaire.
Yeah.
He's already a black. I think he's almost. I don't know what happened like with the whole Yeezy thing with Adidas, but. Like he was very much close to being a billionaire, and then like they cut him, and then I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, there was a lot of stories. I was watching this one. I'm not sure if it's an interview or just telling journalists that Adidas somehow hacked. Was it Adidas that somehow hacked his bank accounts, and they took money out of them?
I doubt it would be Adidas. Like they had a contract with him for the shoes. But
okay, but no, we'll just confirm that, right? It's alleged. We'll just confirm that. Don't take our word for it.
Yeah, take our guess word for it. And on that note, let's go over to the interview.
100%.
Guys, I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll catch up with you guys as soon as it's done, and sort of talk soccer.
All right. Yeah. So the interview with Lennox is coming right up.
I didn't want to be put in that basket of forex trader, and so I am more comfortable going out there and talking about stocks, right? And it's funny how it came about because I was just scrolling on Twitter. I was not meant to be known. You guys are not meant to see my face, even though the viewers are not supposed to see how I look like. But I basically had a Twitter account. I was called the Analyst. Doesn't have a profile picture even now.
The Analyst.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Even if you go there now, you will just find South African notes there. You won't see my picture whatsoever.
Okay, sure.
So that's just how it was supposed to be. And then this one time, as I was scrolling, I saw some guys on Twitter. I think they're talking about this one stock I won't mention, right? So they're basically buying the stock. At the time when I did my technical analysis, the stock was actually overbought. Right? And then I commented on the tweets telling them that I think the stock is overbought, right?
Yeah.
So if you know Twitter, man, Twitter is it's a very bad place, man. So they actually attacked me for that comment, and I promised the guys, let me just to do TA analysis on this stock, right? So I posted the analysis on my account, which had I think less than 50 followers at the time, right? And that's basically how people started checking me out. It was through that analysis, which eventually played out as I analyzed, right? Yeah. So people started checking me out from there. Yeah, they started asking for more analysis on their favorite stocks and whatnot. And then I kept on posting for them until to a point where they asked me to open a YouTube channel. And I was like, okay, now I have to reveal my face because this is YouTube. So that's how I got to reveal my face through YouTube. I still don't post much of my personal stuff on Twitter. Even on YouTube, you don't get to know a lot about my personal life. It's just analysis. That's pretty much it. That's what I'm comfortable with. Right? And remember, I was not meant to be known.
You are not meant. So you said you do look at FX, but not online, offline, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. So online, just stocks.
Yeah, but I feel like now I'm getting more comfortable. I did do some FX here and there, but I was basically looking at the USD ZAR because most people don't view that as forex. They view it as analysis of the South African rand. So I've done some, you can call it FX online. But I'm slowly warming up to it because people know me as this guy who does TA on stocks, right? So I think now I can come out and say, actually, I can trade forex.
Yeah, you can also have a look at forex.
Yeah.
And when did this start?
When did I start trading?
Being on Twitter, start doing analysis on Twitter.
It's actually 2021.
All right.
Yeah.
And trading
solo.
Trading overall.
somewhere around 2017, 2018. Yeah, somewhere there.
I think that's when most of the traders you see now started. If not,
that was the peak. That was the peak.
Yeah, that was the peak when everybody got into the game. I started in 2016, 17 myself.
Yeah,
looking at FX. So stocks. So so far, what has been the stock, in your opinion, that has been like the biggest mover so far, in your opinion, that I've seen?
Biggest mover on what market? South African markets, US markets?
Let's say just
whichever one you prefer.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't say Sasso,
Okay, when we do US markets, for me, the biggest mover in the US market is Tesla, right? If you go to my YouTube channel, I did do an analysis on Tesla last year. And at the time, I said the stock was too high, it was overbought, and we saw it dropping down. But this year, the stock has been amazing. I think year to date, we're looking at approximately 70%. That's a lot. Year to date. Yeah, so that's the biggest mover from my side. From the top of my head, I'm not too sure on the South African market. I have to think about it, but US market, Tesla.
Definitely Tesla.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So we spoke about it like just before we started a bit. US dollar.
Yeah.
What's your point of view?
Okay, so from the technical analysis side of things, I think we're likely to see some strength in coming weeks. The US dollar has broken out of this accumulation zone that it has been trading on for the past, I don't know, few months, and we've recently seen that breakout. So I'm basically looking at the dollar strength. I'm taking a short sell on Euro USD.
Yeah.
I think I told you this off camera. Yeah. So I'm actually betting on the US dollar strength.
Mm. Yeah, we touched about it a bit, like on how that NFP results that came out was very unexpected, and to see that sort of a strength coming to the market,
Better than expected.
oh, like massively better than expected.
Yeah.
Where do you sort of see this? Because we've been having this debate in the podcast now for a while. This interest rate decision. When do you see it cutting? When do you see them pausing? Do you still think it's going to go up a bit more? Where do you sort of feel like the dollar is going?
So before I answer that, let me just say, you cannot necessarily trade fundamentals. I know there's people who like trading fundamentals and whatnot. Everything that you see on the news, most of them are already priced in, unless if the numbers come in better than expected or worse than expected, right? And to answer your question, I think we're likely to see another hike, 25 basis points, right?
Yeah.
I think that is even priced in, right? If we get some weird reaction on the market, it would have to be something of that. But 25 basis points, I think that's already priced in, and that's basically what I'm looking at. And market is already geared for it.
Yeah, I think we anticipated 25 basis point hike.
Yeah.
Maybe a three meetings, maybe, and then from there maybe a slow down, a pause.
Probably a pause.
Probably a pause.
Yeah, like I'm sort of, from my point of view, like I'm seeing more than likely expecting some cuts happening around about June-ish. That's when I think the market will really start. And we sort of spoke about this. Once the inflation and interest rates don't start aligning with each other anymore, I think that's when they'll be doing cuts. So the big question is like how much and how quickly.
I guess you can only speculate.
That's the fun part, speculating on what they would do and bragging about it when you get it right.
We'll see CPI this coming week, right?
It's coming week.
What are your expectations of that one? I saw German CPI came in lower than expected. We might get something similar next week on the US market. It's very likely.
And we still see some negative figures, right? Inflation, I think, is 6.5 or 3.
I think so, about 6.5.
Around those levels, yeah. I mean, looking at how NFP, how the job market came out better than expected, beat expectation. I think inflation might still go down. You know, that CPI might still go down. Inflation might still go down because target still 2%. The job data that came out better than expected. So when I see what CPI will do, inflation will come out. But I think it's gonna come out better than what is forecasted. I think the forecast is below 6% now. But I have to confirm.
To be honest with you, like I haven't done the analysis yet.
Yeah.
But like we spoke about last week, I think anything under 0.3 will still be perceived as like very good. We will still see like lots of drop-offs happening, and I think by the time we reach June, July, that inflation number is going to sit like under 3%.
Yeah.
You know what else is interesting? So when we speak about NFP, we saw big tech companies cutting jobs. But when NFP came out, it was the opposite. That was so confusing. So now I'm just sitting there, I'm like so confused. What the hell is going on? Huh?
I mean, we've seen those price reactions.
I think a lot of that data you could have seen in the ADP figures. That's why ADP figures came out shocking. Because it came out like the forecast was about 180,000 and came out as about 100,000. So I think you like in the ADP figures you could have seen those figures a bit more. But I'm like as well, like it was very shocking to see it come out to like over 500. Very, very shocking. And I would like to see where that employment actually came from. Just to make sure it's like in skilled sort of in areas. Because we know tech has been like between Google, Microsoft, like Tesla, all the big tech companies like have just been. I think there was about 30,000 jobs that was lost. So there's a lot of jobs that got lost there, but also a lot of jobs being gained. Jobs report's still very strong.
Yeah,
There's
very
very
strong.
jobs out there. So still interesting time.
So, big question: are you guys bullish or bearish on the US dollar?
It depends on time frame. Like
Time frame.
Okay, let's say short, medium term.
So personally,
Yeah.
I'm still bearish
Still bearish.
on dollar. I still think there's a bit of dollar weakness coming up. And I'm also looking at where gold is sitting right now.
Yeah.
It hasn't hit the levels we've been discussing on our podcast, basically. Right. So we're still anticipating the retracement that's forming right now, but a continuation later to the upside. There could be a negative dollar coming up. So I would say I'm still negative on the dollar. I'm bullish on gold, negative on the dollar. That's how I'm seeing it at the moment.
Can you,
Right.
is it possible to get the charts here?
To show the charts. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely we can show
I
the
think
charts.
that would be interesting.
All right, let's show the charts. All right. All right, let me just do this. There you go. Okay, so I'll have to do something real quick. All right, in terms of the charts.
So we were chatting a bit. Like you also on your YouTube channel, you touch a bit on crypto.
Yeah, crypto.
Yeah. What's your view on Bitcoin at the moment?
Bitcoin at the moment. So there's one thing that you need to take into consideration when you're looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin rallied during cuts. So during easing, right, in 2020. That's when it rallied up, right? And now we're doing the opposite, right? We're hiking. By default, Bitcoin should drop, and that's what we've seen in the past 6 months going into a year, right? And also I hear people saying 1 Bitcoin is equal to Bitcoin, but 1 Bitcoin is equal to a certain number of dollars, right? So there's still that correlation between Bitcoin and the US dollar, right? If I'm saying now I'm focusing strength on the US dollar, Bitcoin should drop, right? And we've seen this week. I think Bitcoin dropped 5% last night, and dollar was strong, right? So there's still that correlation. And when it comes to Bitcoin, when we're looking at technical analysis, structurally, I'm still bearish on Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also to where?
I think
To zero.
I wish. But I think we can look at 16K to 15K. We should find a nice supports there. Going into 10K. I know this is not what people want to hear, but it's possible. If the dollar can go back to its last year's high, we can see Bitcoin going into lower levels. Easy.
So what do you think is the possibility of Bitcoin going back to its all-time highs?
All-time highs. Well, at the moment,
This is vital because we've got a bet running in this podcast.
Yeah.
well, at the moment, I don't see a major driver, right? Because remember, I said Bitcoin rallied when we were easing, and now it's the opposite. We should see it going down. And when we're looking at the dollar too, if the dollar can go back to its last year's high, Bitcoin should go down. I don't see any scenario that will take Bitcoin back to, is it 68K? I don't see
It's
it.
like closer to 80, isn't it?
I don't see
What's
I
that
don't,
high?
I don't see that happening.
69.
69,
yeah.
jeez.
What's gonna drive it? Think about it.
It was like I'm not saying you're wrong. Well, actually, I completely agree with you. It's just like that whole rally was just bubble.
Yeah, true.
And it's the same, like the bubble popped. Like tulips will never go back to the price that tulips were. If you know anything about bubbles, that was pretty much like the first bubble ever. It's like in the Netherlands, people basically planted tulips, and tulips was what basically ran the market, and that was the first bubble ever.
Mm.
But as high as it went, like it never went there again because it was just a bubble. And don't you think like that? I sort of still get the sense that we will never see these rallies from Bitcoin ever again.
Well, I think so too. And you know what they say about trends? Once they're identified, they disappear. Right? So a trend that anyone can see, it's probably a trend that you can't trade. So in terms of Bitcoin, everyone can see a bullish rally here, but I don't see that happening. And there's something interesting that these crypto gurus do. So what they do is that they use logarithmic charts. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but what a logarithmic chart does is that it alters with the scale, right? So when you alter with the scale, it uses, in order to scale the chart, it uses percentage, right? So when you use that chart, it gives you a bullish scenario. Yeah, if I can get to your chart, I'm not sure if we can get the chart here.
I don't think that chart.
Now we can't get a log chart here, but basically what it does, it somehow flips the charts, and when you look at it, it looks so bullish.
So it inverts the chart.
In a way,
I see what you're talking
yeah,
about.
but it's not a direct inverse.
Yeah.
But in a way, when you look at it, it looks like an inverse of the chart.
I see what you're talking about.
So when you invert
So it
the
looks-
chart, obviously, if it's a bearish chart, if you invert it,
It's gonna
gonna
be
be
bullish.
bullish. So that's what they're posting on Twitter, just to hook people thinking that Bitcoin is bullish. Like that's not bullish. That's BS.
Nice one. That's a good one.
So could this be the same as Ethereum as well?
Oh yeah. They have the same structure.
Yeah.
Can you just zoom out a bit
This is the weekly.
quickly?
Fine.
Right. So when you're looking at this chart, right, when you go to your left, that if you go down there, just up the peak there on your left, right there.
Yeah.
I can argue that it can potentially be
That's
a left
support.
shoulder, if you think about it. So that high there at 68k can potentially be a hit, like a huge hit, if you think about it.
Wait,
Yeah,
the high is
if
68K.
you're looking at it that way, that means like Bitcoin's going to like negatives.
No, it's not going to go to a negative, because a footing would be around, I think it would be around 1,000 when you go down. So if that's a left shoulder, just go down, down. Yeah, around there. That's where a footing would be at. So that would be more like the worst case scenario, in my opinion. Yeah. If this that I'm saying, if this is a head and shoulder, a huge head and shoulder, that's the worst case scenario. Yeah. And I've been seeing this pattern since 68k. If you go to my YouTube channel, it's there. You'll see it.
Oh yeah.
Since 68k.
So you're familiar with this, with its movements.
Yeah.
100%.
That's why I'm saying I don't see Bitcoin going back to 68k. At least not anytime soon.
What about 28k?
That's possible, because that's where you have
Yeah,
some sort of so that's a previous support, right? So that's possible, and you also have a market gap there that might just close, right? And it might just create a bull trap.
Bull trap.
Yeah, so once it gets to that point, you get more excitement in the market, and you see people coming in, and
Starting to buy.
that's how a trap is created.
Yeah. So all right. So that is basically the bet we have in the podcast. I'm predicting 28k.
28k. Okay.
Might go really there.
No. That was Julian said like Bitcoin's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
go
gonna
back to
up.
its all-time highs in the
Yes.
next two
Two
years.
years.
Now I'm with Tep on this one. 28k is realistic.
Yeah, like I agree. Like that's about where I'd look as well. I don't think
Yeah.
anything above that.
Yeah, but all-time high. I
No.
think we are just reaching there.
I mean, for Bitcoin to go there in the first place, it was due to the war, right? There's the war high there, right? So it has to be a strong fundamental reason. Yeah, what was the war?
No, it wasn't.
It was the easing during COVID.
Yeah.
You know when the
That was on that first rally
yeah.
of gold when gold started pushing up so much.
Yeah, they're right. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's a lot of talk around Bitcoin. I mean, different outlooks and all of that. But for Bitcoin to go up there, as you guys said, there needs to be strong fundamental reasons for it to push.
And remember now, there's issues of regulations now. If Bitcoin gets regulated, it won't move as much.
Yeah.
That's another thing you need to consider.
Yeah, regulation is to its detriment.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna see like that amount of movement.
I mean, it's good for safety, but in terms of these crazy gains, it's not gonna work out so well.
So gold.
So this gold, right?
Gold.
Let's zoom out
So
a bit.
weekly time frame, zooming out.
Yeah, so when you look at gold, I think this is that double top that everyone saw last year, right? Yeah, that one there. But when you move down a bit, there's something that people are not seeing here. Move down a bit, up a bit, up, there. I think I'm seeing a head and shoulder there. If you can draw a rectangle from there going down.
From this point.
No, that's not my shoulder. Just go to your right. Go to your right. There.
Yeah.
Draw it from there.
Oh, a rectangle.
A rectangle from there to your right. We're looking for a head and shoulder. Right there. And just find the support for that head and shoulder. Yeah, somewhere there.
So this.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just.
I just can't see the price. I think it's around 1.7. Yeah, somewhere there. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, 1.6, 1.7.
Yeah, going to 1.7. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the structure that I'm seeing on gold, right? And this should actually support my focus on USD. Remember, I'm bullish on USD, and this seem to be this structure here.
Yeah.
That seem to be playing out on gold. And of course, you can get a retest on that gray rectangle that you've just marked there. We can get a retest there, but we're likely to get a further depreciation on gold. That's my focus on gold.
So this head and shoulder, are you predicting gold?
It's probably not gonna go that low. I think the worst case scenario is gold testing that support, that neckline there. That neckline. Because if you look at it, it doesn't really have footing, right? So I don't really forecast it going below. I think that's 1.5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So my target on gold, my target on gold is so I'm taking a short from there going into the next demand zone on the chart.
Yeah, next demand zone.
Yeah.
Interesting view.
So overall, I'm bullish on USD.
I can see bullish on euros.
So we can check DXY there.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's go to DXY. All right, should be somewhere here. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. DXY. I'm on the weekly, daily.
Let's go weekly.
This is the weekly.
Right. So DXY, I think I did see you marking a support. Yeah, somewhere there going into the area of rejection there. Maybe you can take it a bit down. Because that actually, that's where the area of influence is starting, going into where you had initially placed that rectangle, right? So that's where my area of influence is starting, going into, I think you can add another rectangle there.
Yeah, from...
Yes, yeah, so somewhere there. No, take it up.
all the way up.
Yeah, so somewhere there, right? So my range is between these two rectangles here, but overall I'm bullish on the dollar index. If we get a rejection there, it will be because of this area of influence there, which will likely to take it back to that rectangle there on the bottom there. Yeah. But let's look at the monthly. Yeah, right. It's like, okay, correct.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Yeah.
So bullish from these levels.
Yeah, so best case scenario, we can see dollar testing its last year's high. That's the best case scenario, but I know I might be pushing it a little bit too much. Yeah, but my first target currently is 105. 105.
105 is here,
Yeah,
around here.
I think so. I think
That lines up.
yeah, so somewhere there. So that's my first target on the dollar.
On the dollar. So Euro USD is the inverse of this. Like the chart is just flipped the other way around. So Euro USD predicting a drop, a major drop. No, not wait. When you say 105 is here,
So it won't be a major drop.
yeah, it won't be a major drop.
Yeah. Just a decent trade.
Yeah. There you go. Where is it? All right. All right. It's just a similar price action.
Can we use the daily chart?
The daily chart. Use the daily.
Yeah, so my entry point, yeah, do you see where you have your cursor there?
Yeah.
That's where my entry was. Because once you break below that level, right, you've entered the different territory now. Right. So anything above that, that's sort of bullish, but anything below that, that's bearish. And that's where I come in. Yeah, so I'm using that area of influence. Yeah, I'm not looking too much into that trend there. And of course, you can get a retest at that area of influence there, that supply zone. We're likely to get a retest, somewhere there, right?
Yes.
But my focus is that we're likely to see Euro USD dropping. And remember, to you viewers, this is not financial advice.
100%.
Yeah, we've got disclaimers for that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, you've got an interesting view on gold in particular, because I told the guys gold personally will be my focus for this year, but I've got a different view on gold.
Are you bullish?
I'm bullish on gold.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're bearish on USD.
Yeah.
Interesting.
At the moment, anything might change, but
Oh, I see where you're going. So Bitcoin can go to 28K and then gold rally up.
yeah,
No, I see where you're going with this.
because in my opinion, I see gold continue this leg to the upside, right?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting it to break above these highs, but for it to complete my setup, it has to test these highs again.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be. Whether it will break after that, it's okay. So, so I'm looking at that push to the upside.
Yeah, no, that's
From my point of view, when it gets to that 2050, you just sell. Like it injected so hard off of that when it touched it last time. You just sell when it gets there.
Yeah, this long spike.
Actually, who needs gold above 2K? That
Like
makes sense.
no, it doesn't. Like there's a lot of things that doesn't make sense to me. And like we spoke about this a bit in the podcast last week. I'm like, what's the reason for it like going higher now?
Yeah.
Like there's no specific reason. Like yes, there's that US and China sort of a scuffle going on at the moment.
Yeah.
But other than that, like what's the real reason gonna be?
Yeah, I think it's more technical than it is fundamental at the moment. Right, because if you take a look at the technicals, gold has been breaking structures to the upside. It's just rejecting from this level. This level has not been tapped.
Yeah, if we can break above that level,
Yeah.
then you can get your bullish setup.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so that is the level where if we do get continuation to the downside, the thing with me is I look at price action by price action. So as much as I can forecast a move like this, but I want to see price action confirming in that direction.
Yeah, as we go.
As we
true.
go.
That's how you trade, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
So in that, I still think gold might go down, but I need enough confirmation price action to see if it's gonna give me those confirmations to pull down.
Yeah.
That's how I approach.
Trade what you see, not what you think.
100%.
That's such a
That's
good
it.
point.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. But yeah, interesting debate on gold, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, I'm still sticking to my 28,000.
Yeah.
Gold, I'm anticipating gold to go up, right? I'm looking for a few pending orders around these levels. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my area of influence there.
100%. Yeah. And it also if you take your FIP on this weekly impulse, right? Looking at this 61.8, right around that level for some rejection, then a push to the upside. That's how I'm looking at gold at this point.
You know what's interesting? We can both be right. I can get my trade and you can get your trade.
100%.
That's what's interesting about financial markets.
Yeah, I remember we did a seminar and then I mentioned something like that where I can predict an upside, you can predict the downside.
Yeah, can both make money.
Yeah. The difference is the entry. Where you're entering, where you're gonna exit.
It's not just that. It's like the time frame that you're looking at as well.
The time frame also, plays a hand as well.
Time frame has like a big sort of influence on it. But
yeah,
like if I tell you like long Euro USD, I won't tell you for how long it's long.
Exactly.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? So, but gold is what I'm focusing on. I'm still looking for those longs. I saw yesterday or today on the 1 hour time frame, the drop that came, it was because of this correction here. And I knew the drop would come, but I didn't react to it. I didn't do anything.
There was a nice, I still think there's more of a drop coming. If you check, there's a nice flag pattern there that it actually broke.
Yeah, I see.
Nice flag pattern it actually broke like last night. And we actually got a retest on that channel.
Yeah.
And I think if it breaks under the support, you had that support here just now. If it breaks under that support line, we're going to see that drop to 1800.
1800 is here, right?
That's good news to me.
Sure. So basically, this leg down.
Yeah, that's the completion of the flag. It's down to 1800.
Yeah, that 1800 I think is around just below 61.8 of the FIB.
And it correlates really well on the 200-day moving average. On the daily, like it's right in place with that 1800 level as well. That would be a place I would look at buying.
That's on 17.6 of the FIB level. I also have another view on this, right? Because I look at the waves most of the time, like your corrective structures and all of that.
Yeah.
There is a possibility that gold could do something like this, not break that high, come back to this neckline, because there's a neckline of this end somewhere there, and then push down again. If this happens, then I see it creating a correction to the upside. It will be like a bigger flag, something like this, and then we can get this continuation again up. So that is basically the view I have. So I'm looking at different possibilities on what gold could do. Yeah, let's see how it will form.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to make a bet with me too?
Yeah.
How long is it gonna take?
Yeah, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but no, interesting discussion on Bitcoin, dollar, gold, and
Crypto.
100%. Yeah.
So Lennox, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks
We
for
appreciate it so much. Do you want to kind of punch yourself out there a bit on socials, or you want to stay Mr. Analysis himself?
Well, if you guys want to follow me on social media, it's crazy how I don't even know my handles, but on Twitter I think it's the analyst 777. On Twitter YouTube. I think YouTube has handles now.
Yeah.
It's Lennox Bobeni, but the name of the channel is Technical Analysis with Lennox. That's basically where you find me, and you can actually see my face now.
100%. Yeah, as Zenda said, thank you so much for joining us, man. It was a nice discussion, nice session. And we'll check out your content on Twitter, on YouTube, Facebook. You're not there.
I'm not active.
All right, 100%. So Twitter and YouTube, check him out. The Analyst 777 and Technical Analysis with Lennox on YouTube.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
No, thanks for having me. This was nice. Hope get back here again.
100%. 100%.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cheers, man. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, man. This was nice. Beautiful stuff.
Right. So that was the interview with Lennox.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty decent interview.
Yeah.
Gave some insightful information, and we actually we actually touched on some contrary opinions to some extent. So it's actually good. Like a lot of the way, like we never always see eye to eye with a lot of things. Like, same as with Seppo and I, we don't always see eye to eye when it comes to charts, but that's what causes everything in the market, you know. A lot of the times you have one point, I've got another view, and then
it's okay, you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
To be fair with you, like the times we're like the most accurate is when we have the same point of view.
But
so filtering each other out to some extent, but it's good to have like a different point of view, and he's got a different way of seeing a lot of things, and we agree with a lot of things to some extent, and some things we sort of disagree with, and not to say that it's wrong, because a lot of the times, like we said in the interview or in the sort of a chat that we had with him as well, it's that different point of views is what makes the market, you know. Like everyone can't say like we're just long because then there would be no sellers in the market. Everyone can't just sell because there won't be any sellers in the market. So it's good to have different point of views, and that's what just makes the market. Otherwise, we're gonna sit in a not so nice market.
Just gonna, because for every buyer there has to be a seller.
Every buyer has to be a seller. 100%.
Yeah, but it was a nice conversation to have with Lennox. Once again, we thank him for joining us.
Yeah, it was great to sit and chat with him and see his different point of views, and I would love to have him on board again, so that I have a different time of a chat. I know he did tell me like as well, like he basically does not trade from December up until now. He only started trading like this week again. So maybe in a couple of months, see and get him in and see where he's actually looking at trading at the moment, and seeing what he's looking at. So we can have another debate.
Yeah, I think there was so much to talk about, but we didn't have time. So I think a part 2 is on the way.
Yeah, definitely. If he's keen on it and he wants to join us, please hit us up. We're definitely keen to have you on board again.
100%. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, man, it's Friday, taking it easy, weekend. Any soccer to catch?
Just waiting to see what's gonna happen with Leeds.
I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen with Man City.
Who are they playing this weekend?
No, the case.
No.
I know
it's a long wait.
I know we spoke and said it might take 4 more years.
Yeah, 2 to 4 years. That's how long they take before they make a decision on the financial fair play stuff. Love to see what's gonna happen. Love to see that Kevin De Bruyne comes through to Man United. I don't know. How do you think fans would feel about it if we start like getting
players?
Okay, firstly, Holland said that if he's gonna move, he's gonna move to Spain. So he's either gonna join Barca or he's gonna join Real Madrid, which Real is more than likely to. But how do you sort of see that panning out? Do you think we'll actually get some City players, or do you think we'll rather not?
Yeah, I mean, because of the rivalry thing, I don't think there's going to be any City player that wants to come to us, you know, because of rivalries.
However, 100%. Who I know, like, you remember the Tevez saga?
Tevez.
The whole Tevez thing, like, I still have, like, bad memories of that. Who did we buy from City? Off of the top of your head, can you remember us? I can't remember us actually buying it. But we've had, like, Man United players going to City. Tevez being one of them. There was a couple of others as well.
No, I think we took Tevez from City.
No. We sent Tevez to City.
Oh, we sent Tevez to City. Yeah, because of the rivalry thing, I don't think, you know, but a player I would want to come to United is the name just that midfielder, man, Silva. Bernardo Silva. That's one player I want to come to City. Other than that, they can go to Chelsea, Man City, whatever.
Chelsea would just buy everyone anyways, and then flop with them.
Haaland can go to Leipzig. It's okay.
I'll be Leipzig. No, I think more than likely I'd see him going to like Real.
To another big club, you know.
Yeah, I can't see anything like he's too good, man. Like he'll probably go to one of the other clubs. See, like there's interesting debate seeing like if Haaland actually makes City worse because he just interrupts like their style of play.
But he's been scoring. How can he interrupt?
Yeah, they haven't been doing well.
Oh, late.
Yeah.
I haven't been checking them out, but I know as they're scoring hectically. I'll watch their game this weekend. I'm not sure who they're playing against. I'll just check it out. Yeah. So Sunday's Leeds again.
Yeah, Leeds again.
5 million is coming.
I hope so.
5 million done.
Yeah, we need to get a proper win under the belt on them.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. Our prediction is 5-0. Done.
I'll go for 3-0. Yeah, I think it's been a long episode so far. So
Yeah.
love to everyone that's watching the podcast and enjoys the podcast. We love having you guys on board. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with anyone that has sort of knowledge about trading or the people that want to get into trading. We love discussing everything. And again, we'd love if there's any partners that wants to come on board, have a chat with us on the podcast, please feel free. Email us at care@tdmarkets.com or comment on the channel. Just say like you're very keen to come on board and we'll have a chat.
Yep, 100%. And also keep a close eye on our social media platforms, the streams we do throughout the week. Keep a close eye on them as well. And yeah, as Zander said, any questions, pop us an email, type down below. Subscribe, share. How do these guys do the YouTube thing? Subscribe, share.
Like, comment, subscribe, share all over the place.
Yeah, they're pointing up and down. There's something up here. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's been a great episode. Yeah, I'll catch you guys back on Friday.
No, we're doing CPR, man.
CPR on Wednesday.
CPR on Wednesday, podcast on Friday.
Yeah. All right. Details on our social media platforms. You're gonna see on the CPR.
Cheers, guys. Have a good weekend.
Sharp.